This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is now available on Amazon. A link to the book will be placed in the description below.
It's 419-255-1111.
A former prison guard at the Toledo Correctional Institution is looking to sue his former employers after being assaulted while on the clock and then allegedly being met with deaf ears when he wanted to press charges about it. Michael Sandlin, he joins us in studio with more on this story tonight. So what exactly is alleged to have happened to this guy?
Jeff, Anthony Allen had been working at TCI for no more than a few months when he was hit with a nasty surprise. A prisoner sprayed him with a bottle of fecal matter, getting it all over his face and body. He wanted to take legal action against the guy who did it, but he says his bosses told him he wasn't allowed. So tonight, Allen has shared his body cam video to give us an inside look at what actually went down that day.
Beavers, you want your chow? No? Okay. He's refusing too? Yeah. I think he wants to sleep. Okay.
This was Anthony Allen's view during the late afternoon hours of August 14th of 2024, working the floor of the restrictive housing unit after his usual shift to collect a little overtime.
I love overtime. I've got no problem working it. Nothing else to do up there, for me anyway.
Allen had recently transplanted from Florida after a 5-year stint working in corrections down south, moving to Toledo to be closer to his sister. By August, he'd only worked there for a few months. That day, everything seemed relatively normal as Allen walked the floor with his partner, but Allen had recently set a rule that nothing was to be passed between cells, a decision that didn't earn him any love with the prisoners.
What kind of threats were you getting?
I'm going to f you up. I'm going to throw on you. Things like that.
But it was all talk and no action, at least until they came to this next cell. They were handing out dinner, but this prisoner refused his food and wanted to pass something through the door.
If you send it out, it ain't going nowhere, I'm just telling you. Trash? Okay.
Now, we always say something in corrections. If something doesn't feel right or if something seems a little off, there's a reason for it.
But Allen ignored his instincts and reached for the item anyway.
You want your app? Oh, I'm you up.
It's just like, did this really happen? And then when you realize that that's exactly what happened, then it's just anger, rage.
Allen went to his superiors to report the incident and was ordered to shower and change before finishing out his shift. Allen says he told his captain he would like to press charges against his attacker, but Allen says he was told he would need to wait until he could speak with an investigator looking into the incident. And once he finally did, Allen claims this is what he was told.
And they told me that the Lucas County prosecutor has a criteria to where they will not prosecute inmates for staff assault unless they have less than 5 years left on their sentence.
But there's only one problem. The prosecutor's office doesn't have any such policy. Allen says he called and asked himself, and WTOL 11 did the same, speaking with prosecutor Mike Loisel, who confirmed they handle every case individually and have no such rule.
I turned in my uniforms September 5th, and I decided that I'm not going to work for a department that doesn't have my back.
Now, Allen is looking to strike back against his former employers through the legal system. He tried filing a case in the Ohio Court of Claims earlier this year, but he says he was dismissed because he hadn't gathered all of the proper paperwork. But now, Allen believes he's crossed all of his T's and dotted all of his I's, and he's ready to take the Ohio Correctional Institution to court. The charge? Employee negligence.
I want my brothers and sisters who are still on the job to know that they have a safe place to work.
Allen now works as a truck driver down south. He says he hopes to return to Columbus by the end of the month and file that lawsuit. Meanwhile, we reached out to the Toledo Correctional Institution. They say they're looking into the issue and will send the appropriate response as soon as they can. In studio, I'm Michael Sandlin, WTOL 11.
Well, the construction at Chariot Summit in downtown